Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a new toy we're going to be testing out. It's the Rolly Lasermatic. So what we're going to do is we've got some sanded plywood sheets. You'll see people use a little bit of everything. You can use MDF or you can use the Baltic birch. But for my experimenting, I'm going to use the cheaper stuff just in case I mess it up. So we're going to give that a try today. Stick around. Let's make something. Okay, so this is my first laser, and I've had it for a couple of months now, and we've made some door rounds and some layered items and just some other line art. But this is extremely handy to churn stuff out really quick. It takes a lot less time than building everything manually. So what we're going to do today is we're going to stick with the patriotic theme since the 4th of July is just around the corner, and we're going to make some patriotic items. So the nice thing about this particular laser is it will take an extra wide board. It's 16 by 24, but you do lose a little bit of the top when the laser's cutting, but let's stick it in there and I'll show you what we're going to make. Now when you first turn it on, if it's connected to the PC and to the right COM port, it will automatically home to this left position. Now one thing to keep in mind, this particular model in Lightburn, every time I do a Windows update, it seems to put it to a different COM port, so you'll have to check the device settings to make sure it ends up in the right place. This is the file I purchased, and purchased it from Cat and Cut Design, and it's a montage of 5 different American flag themed cut files. So in order to use this laser that I currently have, the Rolly, you have to have Lightburn in order to burn files. This is the setup that I've made. I scaled it up a little bit, but it is 4 individual files, not really files, 4 individual cuts that we will glue together. Let's send it to the laser and see how it turns out. First thing we do is we frame the project. So what this does is it lets us ensure that whatever we're going to send to the laser and cut out actually fits on the board that we actually have inside the laser. Now this is a 30-watt diode laser from Roly, and it has no problem cutting through this thin sanded plywood that I have. We're making this project on. This project is going to take about 26 minutes. You can see we're a little over 10 minutes into it, and like I said, this is no problem cutting these fine details with this laser. And we'll finish this project up and we'll move on. So now that it's finished, that took almost 26, just a little over 26 minutes to cut that out. So let's get it out of the laser bed and let you see what it really looks like. Before we get it out, I'm going to cut it off to get rid of the fan noise. We'll let the lights go out as well, but you still should be able to see it just fine. There's the finished product. And sometimes by using the cheaper sanded plywood, depending on if you get into some of the glue layers, some of it doesn't cut as well as the other layers do. So let's just see how this cut. So this come out pretty well. So there's the final product. Then what we'll do is these layers, we'll glue these layers on top of each other. Now the only bad side is there is a little bit of waste here that we won't be able to really use for much. And you can see some of these didn't cut as well as the others. So I'll take a little X-Acto knife and hit these little spots right here that didn't cut as well. And luckily, most of the stars cut. It's one of those bad areas I was telling you about that you can get in some of the sanded plywood. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like before we paint it. So this is our base level. This is going to be white. This with the stripes will be red, and then we'll have the blue. So let's get these painted. We'll start with the red, and I didn't prime these. I just sprayed them. I did do 2 coats on them, and then we did the white. This is the base layer again, so this one's going to be the one you see through, and the other one is blue. And then this one I did not show earlier. This is our black, which is our kind of our outline that will hide all the pieces as we put them together. Now that we've got the individual pieces painted, we can stack them together, and then all we've got to do is put a little super glue on them, and we're good to go. So the final product will look like that. So the first thing I did was screwed this 90-degree angle onto a scrap piece of board. This will allow me to be sure that each piece is hitting the same flat surface and allowing it to be much easier to line these pieces up as I'm gluing them together, because this super glue, it sets pretty quick, so you don't have a lot of time to fix your mistakes. So the next thing I'll do is I'll screw another 90-degree angle at the top of the barrel so that I know there's no movement as I'm gluing these together. The cool thing about Starbond is they give you these little tubes that work great for these little fine areas that we're going to be putting glue on. The first layer on top of the white will be the red. We'll put a little bit of Starbond super glue on each one of these. We don't really need any accelerator because this is going to dry pretty fast, so let's just put a little glue on this. So now that we've got the glue on, we know that this is going to be our flat starting point, and then the barrel, top of the barrel, will hold the other piece in place. The blue will be the next piece, and we'll do the exact same thing of just putting some super glue all the way around the corners. Anything that's going to touch. This area in here is not going to touch anything, so we're not going to put really any glue in this area at all. Okay, same as the red piece, we're using this as our flat surface. And our last and final piece is the black. Okay, there's our final product. Now, some people don't like that you can see the individual layers. But what you can do, if you lay it flat on a surface, you can spray paint this black and it'll hide most of that. So it was a pretty easy first laser project on the channel here. So if you've liked these laser projects, just let me know and we'll try to do a little more of them. But this project took about 26 minutes to cut out all 4 layers. And then we just put some spray paint on it and glued it together, and now it's good to go. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time.